कहाँ तुम? हेलो 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 चेक हेलो हेलो 1 2 3 4 हेलो. हाँ, शायद कम रखा है वो, इसमें ये है ना, तो गेन को थोड़ा कम करके रखा हूँ. हेलो हेलो 1 2 3 4 हेलो चेक हेलो. हेलो 1 2 3 4 हेलो चेक हेलो. हेलो 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 चेक हेलो 1 2 3 4 हेलो.
सुन मेरे मीता, सुन मेरे साजन, सुन मेरे मीता, दास कबीर कहे समझाई रे, दास कबीर कहे समझाई रे, अंत काल तेरा कौन सहाई रे, चला अकेला संग न कोई, चला अकेला संग न कोई, अपना किया ही पाएगा. सुन मेरे साजन, सुन मेरे मीता, सुन मेरे साजन, सुन मेरे मीता. आरे दिल, आरे मन, आरे दिल, आरे दिल, आरे दिल, आरे
गगन घटा गहरा नीरे। गगन गगन अवधूता गगन घटा गहरा नीरे। गगन घटा गहरा नीरे। अवधूता गगन घटा गहरा नीरे। अवधूता पश्चिम दिशा से उलटी बादल। पश्चिम दिशा से उलटी बादल। रुमझुम बरसे मेहा। रुमझुम बरसे मेहा। उठो ज्ञानी खेत संभालो। उठो ज्ञानी खेत संभालो। बहनी सरेगा पानी। अवधूता 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 गगन घटा गहरा नीरे। अवधूता निरत सुरत के बेल बनाओ। निरत सुरत के बेल बनाओ। निरत सुरत के बेल बनाओ। बीजा बोवो निज धानी। बीजा बोवो निज धानी। दुबध्या दूब जमना नहीं पावे। दुबध्या दूब जमना नहीं पावे। बोवो नाम की धानी। अवधूता 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 गगन घटा गहरा नीरे। गगन घटा गहरा नीरे। निरत सुरत के बेल बनाओ। बीजा बोवो निज धानी। दुबध्या दूब जमना नहीं पावे। बोवो नाम की धानी। अवधूता 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 गगन घटा गहरा नीरे। चारों कोने चार रखवाले। रखवाले चारों कोने चार रखवाले चुगना जावे मृगधानी काट्या खेत मींडा घर ल्यावे काट्या खेत मींडा घर ल्यावे जाती पूरन किसानी अवधूता 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 गगन घटा गहरा नीरे पाँच सखी मिल पाँच सखी मिल करे रसोई पाँच सखी मिल करे रसोई जी में मुनिया ज्ञानी जी में मुनिया ज्ञानी कहे कबीर सुनो भाई सारो कहे कबीर सुनो भाई सारो वो नाम की धानी अवधूता अवधूता गगन घटा गहरा गगन घटा गहरा नीरे अवधूता
भजो रे भैया राम गोविंद हरे भजो रे भैया राम 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 राम गोविंद हरे राम गोविंद हरे राम गोविंद हरे भजो रे भैया राम गोविंद हरि। जप तप साधन कछु नहीं लागत, जप तप साधन कछु नहीं लागत, जप तप साधन, जप तप साधन, जप तप साधन कछु नहीं लागत, जप तप साधन, जप तप साधन कछु नहीं लागत, जप तप साधन कछु नहीं लागत, जप तप साधन, जप तप साधन कछु नहीं लागत, खरचत नहीं गठरी, खरचत नहीं गठरी, भजो रे भैया राम गोविंद हरि, भजो रे भैया राम गोविंद हरि। संतत संपत सुख के कारण, संतत संपत सुख के कारण, जासे भूल परी, संतत संपत सुख के कारण, जासे
ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि। भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskar to everyone who are attending, listening to this talk on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are in 4th chapter, and this is a set of verses which elucidates the very high state of the person who has perfected, got established in this Karma Yoga. So here we just had we had touched this 22nd verse in the last class, which reads thus: Yadrucha labha santushto dandvatito dvandvatito vimatsarah samah siddhau asiddhau cha siddhav siddhau cha krutvapi na nibadhyate. So what does this verse says? We have seen its meaning. I am going it repeating it again. So yadrucha labha santushto means the person here about which it is being told, that one person who has established himself in the path of this Karma Yoga. And these are the symptoms, the characteristics, the way he is, or the way the world, or the interested people like us or sadhakas who want to know about him, who want to understand how he or she may behave, how one can understand, one can identify that person. I had cited the reference of Arjuna's questions in the beginning of Sthita Prajna Lakshana. Sthita Prajnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim, etc. So this was Arjuna's question to Sri Krishna, that what is the definition of of such person, ka bhasha, the definition of Sthita Prajna. He has asked in the second chapter. These are as if the annexure of the same set of verses, Sthita Prajna. Here, the Karma Yogin, one who has established himself in the path of this Karma Yoga. So these are his lakshanas by which world, or rather the interested world, the world of the sadhakas, the people who would like to know about such person, to identify such person. And from these symptoms, from these characteristic features, one can do so. So, in this 22nd verse, what is being said? That he is content, that person is content with yadrucha labha, that whatever might come, what might be gained, what might be achieved by chance, yadrucha, that he is not obsessive, hard upon it, that he must get that. That now if we see this idea and try to correlate to our life, we might find that world we are living in, that the world upon which it insists all the time, try to push us, this idea is completely opposite to it. Everywhere we listen, we hear this word competition, the race, the rat race. To covet, to procure, to secure what one have, to covet what we don't have. This is the materialistic outlook towards life. That the material, it supplies, its instrument, will be the instrument of peace and happiness, which human being is ultimately seeking through this yoga and kshema. Yoga is to to seek that which he or she don't have, and kshema is try to protect it, try to secure it, which he or she already have. So this idea, this belief that matter will be the instrument of our happiness is so ingrained in our psyche that we will find, if we try to experiment with these ideas in the Gita in our day-to-day life, that it is almost impossible. They have stuck to our bones. Impossible to separate them. Even to visualize or to imagine these ideas in our life, it will make people shiver. It will make them uncomfortable. Yadrucha labha santushto. Can we live our life like that? So, this idea, what Gita presents here, the outlook towards life, the approach towards life, it is completely opposite to the idea or the approach this materialistic outlook brings in. What we see in the materialistic outlook of the world, of the life, that more and more, faster and faster, quicker and quicker, these are the ideas. As many plenty of options, as many of it stored, even if you do not use it, even if you can understand that you are not able to consume it, you are not going to consume it, just covet, because that insecurity, just that thinking that you may need it very well, you can give it to someone, better to have it, what is the harm? That your trust in the material resources, that they will be instrument of your peace and happiness. This idea is so heavy to push it aside. So what this materialistic outlook towards life brings in, it brings focus on the resources out of you. Yes, you see that ultimately cause is that your peace and your happiness. And the means are the material resources. And your whole soul has gone out after them continuously, pursuing them, coveting them, and then thus bring the competition, and you go ruthless and come to think of that whatever it might take. This kind of attitude, this kind of scenario is produced by this attitude that material resources can make you happy. Whereas spiritual outlook, it is not completely opposed to it. It is not denying that you do not need any material resources because you are already in your true nature, pure bliss. So you do not need matter. This is not how the spiritual outlook is presented. It brings focus on the person here, the subject. That is spiritual outlook. Spiritual outlook do recognize the person's inabilities, his flaws, his present state of experiences, his needs, what he need to, and how he what he need to grow further from here, from wherever he stands. Spiritual outlook does not abandon rationality. It although transcends it. So, but then its approach to the world, it then changes with this spiritual outlook. What does spiritual outlook? What is the basis of spiritual outlook? That yes, human being is essentially a spiritual entity. And all but these bodies after bodies and all this gamut of life, of this gamut of this samsara, it is its continuous pursuit of going back to its true nature. This is the fundamental thesis of the spiritual outlook. This man very much lives in the world, but idea changes that how he is supposed to live in the world, how do he supposed to approach the matters, the issues at hand, how he should deal with them, how he should follow the pursuits of day-to-day life. This approach changes. One who is interested in spiritual life, in gaining something on the path of spiritual progress. Now, he need to very seriously introspect and self-analyze, self-interrogate and question what do he or she seriously want, truly want, and whether he is ready to do what it demands rationally. Spiritual outlook does not demand that you give up everything and go to jungle. That is not the spiritual outlook. Spiritual outlook recognizes both of your state, that essentially Paramarthik Satya and the Vyavaharik Satya, the way you feel about yourself right now, as of now. It also recognizes this truth that what you truly are. And the line which joins these 2 points, the ideal and the present, this is the spiritual path of an individual. So spiritual outlook very much, it looks upon, brings the focus on the individual, and sustainability is the very prime principle. Whether a growth can be sustainable, whether any action, the path, the way the choices are being made, whether they are sustainable and can cause the growth of a person. Swamiji's quotation is there. Swamiji had said that strength is life. Anything which makes you physically, intellectually or spiritually weak, that is poison, give it up. So Swamiji made the strength as the criteria to measure if anything, something which you are consuming in the form of thought or the choices you are making, whether they are contributing to your spiritual progress. So strength is made the criteria. So it is one way to put it. It can be put in various ways. Whether Swamiji had eulogized strength in this way, so it can be said with respect to freedom. It can be said with respect to your expansion of heart. It can be said with respect to, in the way that if anything makes you free, then it is spiritual, it is furthering your spiritual goals or spiritual interest. If something binds you, then it is not spiritually liberating. Then it is not spiritually liberating. It can be said with respect to unselfishness. Swamiji has eulogized equally that if you find it unselfish, then it is really furthering your spiritual prospects, otherwise not. Whether it is physical, intellectual, emotional or spiritual, whatever you may say, whatever choices you might be taking, whatever the path you might be treading, what is the policy or principles you might be adopting, whether it is making you unselfish, whether it is making you free, whether it is making you strong, whether it is bringing that joy, in this way we can measure whether we are progressing spiritually. Whether something which we are adopting, which we are doing, which we are deciding, whether it is contributing to our spiritual progress. So, here the word I had used is sustainability. So, it is spiritual life, especially in the Ramakrishna Mission, Ramakrishna Math, and this Ramakrishna Sangha Bhavdhara. This idea is again and again placed, and this is something I find, I will not say unique, because these ideas are reflected by in somewhat, but especially they are salient here, very conspicuously taught and made very particularly glaring by the teachings of Swamiji, as when he puts in the form of Chatur Yoga Samanvay. Chatur Yoga Samanvay. Here spiritual life is not put as something, the quest, the intense quest for a momentary experience. No. Spiritual life is something you bring the total standard of your experience, of your living, to that high pedestal. You become spiritual all throughout. Not in a cave, not in a jungle, not in your chamber, in some shrine, you are spiritual. No. Everywhere you are spiritual. The total plane of your consciousness, total plane of your awareness, total plane of your living is raised to that standard. This idea is again and again put forward by Sri Ramakrishna, shown by Mataji, and then subsequently the presidents of the orders. What kind of spirituality we are seeking in? Always the all-round development. If you see, if you have ever, any of you have written letters to President Maharaji, etc., this word I had been finding time and again. That all-round development. What does that mean, all-round development? On all fronts, physically, intellectually, emotionally you are stable, intellectually you are rational, you are not abandoning, and these kinds of other kinds of attitude in spiritual life, and in general in spiritual approach, these are then ignored, or they are then rather pushed away. Any spiritual retreat, what is happening, you will see the sadhus of the Ramakrishna Math, they will be insisting, they will be bringing forth this idea. Spirituality in a way of your living. You become spiritual, not momentarily you experience something and you try to do anything else otherwise, at other times. That is not the idea of spiritual life we find here. Meaning, why? The sustained growth, sustained spirituality. Not a momentary experience, no. Sustained spirituality. From the small booklets you have got at the time of your Diksha, even there you will find this idea. What you inculcate, what you generate at the time of your meditation, you spread it across in your day-to-day life, in the times of in the hours of your work. Ranganathananji has been propounding this idea again and again, again and again. We will see this. This is the very, very important and essential aspect of this Sangha, of this Bhavdhara, and it should be the essential characteristics of the devotees of this Ramakrishna Sangha. This all-front development, that he is good at work, so he is equally good at meditation. He is emotionally rich, stable, as well as he is as sharp in its intellectual pursuits. So, more so in the when they are applied in your spiritual quest, in your adhyatmic upasana. So, this sustained growth, and it is all, what is growth, about whose growth we are talking, the whoever subject is. So total approach has become subjective. Whether he is doing, whether it is benefiting that individual or not. So self-knowledge and self-illumination, self-liberation, this is the idea. And I find equally this is this extra aggressiveness not always amount to success. That pursuing something very hard, not all the time I find it success. It is not also true that people who have been silent, calm, steady, and not very aggressive had not been successful. It is also not true. If I see the history of the giants, whoever had been made, proactiveness is not, this is not something to be abandoned. That what is essential to be done. We see this in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, in the life of Mataji. I remember one incident that you all know that when in Jairamoti that village house was there, and some local panchayat or some local government body had put the tax. Now see, now these are our worldly affairs, and Mataji, Sri Sarada Devi, she is there, she came to know of it, and she herself takes an initiative. She says that it can have very far reaching consequences, and future it will be repetitive, so you should take initiative, pursue it, and get it abolished. She said this to Sharad Maharaj. Sharad Maharaj subsequently did that, became successful. Can you imagine, just see from the context of an ordinary woman, a Brahmin woman, born in a village, who had been wedded to such a kind of person, who had, worldly matters were so far away from him. But see the wisdom, see the approach. Sri Ramakrishna similarly admonishing Yogen Maharaj when he went to buy a pan and there was a hole in it, that you will be devotee, you will not be a fool. So yadrucha lava santushta. Here we are talking about the person who has perfected, a Paramahansa, Jivan Mukta. Sri Ramakrishna was not like that kind of person, neither Mataji was. It does not mean yadrucha lava santushta means becoming lazy, slothful. He is not obsessive about the material pursuit. He has stepped away from this idea that material pursuit can be the lone source of your happiness. He does not find his or her happiness in material pursuit alone. They can be means, but just that much limited they are. They do not bank upon them like most of us are. This is the only thing which can separate a person from worldly or spiritual. In his approach. This is the distinguishing character. What outlook one adopts, material or spiritual? So yadrucha labha santushta. That this person, here what we see in that primary thesis of Karma Yoga, ma phaleshu kadachana, that person is not affected by the fruits borne by his efforts, by his karmas. Karmani eva adhikarasti, he had done the karmas. And then the fruits sometimes they does not come as you might expect. He is not, though because he is not attached to it, he is santushta, content. That's why he is not overwhelmed. The results, and we see all the time This idea I was reflecting, and it is so hard to practice. See, me especially when I compare these ideas, I have become sadhu. So to say, I do not have, or whatever I am doing, they are not my personal pursuits. Nothing I am doing for my own sake. Or so to say, even for this purpose, that perhaps my name will be there. That such and such Maharaj was there, he did such a great thing here in Ramakrishna Math or Ramakrishna Mission, Mumbai. I see that I am not doing it for any such idea. And still I can misunderstand what is called attachment. That I expect certain things to go certain way, and when they don't go, they create an anxiety for me, they create a tension, they create a stress upon me. And we talk of non-attachment to the fruits of action. Ma phaleshu kadachana. It is very easy to talk, but unless one practice that, one try to live that idea, this set of verses from this 18th verse till this 22nd, 23rd verse, one will not understand what a blazing fire these few verses are. Unless one try to live these ideas in his day-to-day life, try to correlate, try to at least imagine his life in the context of these verses. Forget about doing it. You do whatever you are supposed to do as your kartavya, as your duty, as your responsibility, do. But try to tune your heart to this, to the message of these verses. The theme, the strings, the note they are striking. Try to tune your heart to this. Something is not going right, my mind is disturbed. I am worried that how it will go, what it will happen. Yet it is not mine. I am not doing it for myself. Still, the idea of me and mine, they are very subtle. What form it takes. Now here me means I may not be the person, but I have identified myself with the idea of mutt, its benefit, or this institution. So it should happen. I have already formed a kind of, my mind has already thrown in such kind of framework that this should happen. It should go like that. Then it will be all right. Then it will be proper. And this is what the spiritual life is asking the sacrifice of. Not to go that way. How do I know that this is right? This will be right. To come out of that frame. That we are made like that. We all the time we think like that. Always in this format. If this is done, so it will be very nice. If that is done, if I get that, then it will be very nice. If that is done, then I will be happy. All the time in this format. And spiritual life asks to break this chain and become free of this format of thinking. We are bound by this chain. This is what we create expectation, associations of this work and its results, karma and karma phala. We become bound by that. We become obsessive about it, and as much we become obsessive about it, that much is our suffering. Our ego is entrapped in that. That is our ego. So, these ideas of Gita, unless they are practiced, one will not understand the depth of it. And then only they will reveal before a human being, a person, a sadhaka, what its true import is. So yadrucha labha santushta. This person, as if he is swimming in the bliss of that Brahmajnana. His focus is absolutely on that. Tattvamasi aham brahmasmi. And this life, even this body, mind, and every pursuit of it, is just a means. Sri Ramakrishna had said that why I would like to become sugar. Rather, I would like to eat various delicacies where sugar is put. I would like to enjoy that sugar, the sweetness of sugar, through various means. Brahmajnani, a Jivan Mukta Paramhansa, he is exactly doing that. He is all the time sipping the bliss of that Brahman through various interactions. It will come in the just following verses. We chant this verse all the time, perhaps every day. And its depth is, its application is so vast, its depth is infinite. And we just think that it is something to be chanted, it will come. So, yadrucha labha santushta. Because that person has come out of this trap, of this worldliness, of this material outlook. So, it is not his life's goal, his total approach, outlook toward life has changed. Now, it's only a mission, only objective of being alive and do something is to seek that bliss of Brahmajnana, of Brahmaikya, of Jiva Brahmaikya, that unification of Jiva and Brahma, the bliss, the joy of that Brahmajnana through various means of this, all these interactions which are happening. Now everything is Brahman. Everything is that the waves are rising from the ocean, they are again mixing into it. Every action is like that. Guna guneshu vartante. Iti matva anasajjate. That person does not get attached. And here that person, that's why, this is how this knowledge is the basis, the foundation is very much permeated in this karma yoga. Without that, how is it possible? Yadrucha labha santushtaha. That person can remain, then whatever comes by his way, content with it. Transcending dualities, dvandvatito, good, bad. He sees that the light of the same Brahman, same his inner consciousness reflecting into it, it comes out of it and it merges, dissolves into it. Dvandvatito. It all is experiences. Agama payino nitya tanti tikshasva bharata. It came in the second chapter, 13th or 14th verse. So, vimassaraha. Massara is a kind of jealousy. So, many times we try to, be very nice, happy, very good person, being content with whatever we have got. If you are truly that kind of person, many times this kind of attitude was cited as virtue. That people, that he is happy with whatever he have got. But the real test of it is whether he has massara or not. That you try to say, okay, we have got this much only and we are very happy. But as soon as you see the other kind of person, he has got something better than you, immediately means you start the stomach ache. Immediately you experience some kind of acidity in your stomach. Now, if that is the case, then your this quality, that yadrucha labha santushta, you have failed that test. That is then not true. You are not truly content with whatever you have got. Otherwise, it would not have created any ripple in your heart. seeing somebody else's success, seeing somebody else's abundance. Vimatsaraha. This is the taste of that yadrucha labhasa. This is as if the one condition expressed in three ways. You are santushta, you are dvandvatita, whatever you have got, less or maybe more. And you does not harbor or generate any ill feeling who might have less or more than you. And real test is if somebody has got a little more than you, what you have got. Vimatsaraha. So when a person who has achieved such state, how is it possible? When that person is not focused on the material resources as something important, essential to his living, then only that person can remain contented, dvandvatita, and then only he is vimatsara. It is only possible then. Parted away from the knowledge, he cannot withstand. You come to think of yourself body, as soon as you come to think of yourself body, then everything becomes real. And this temptation of this world and coaxing of its challenges will not let you sit quiet. It will create that vikruti in your heart, vikshepa in your chitta. So this person, one we are talking about, one who is the subject matter here, he is not like that. He is the perfected yogi. So this is his lakshana, that yadrucha labha santushtaha, he is dvandvatita. Beyond dualities, he has transcended dualities. That all opposites, they does not as a matter for him. He treats them with equal genuineness of heart. He does not show excessive affection or partiality towards someone and otherwise to some other person, to opposite person. Both these stages, both this reflection, both this manifestation in this world, he says that both come from the Brahman, they exist in the Brahman, and they are going to dissolve in the Brahman. Dvandvatita. Vimatsaraha. When the person is established in such mindset, where for a person for whom it has become his continuous frame of living, a steady frame of living, then that person, he is equally steady in success or failure, siddhi or asiddhi, siddhau asiddhau cha. It doesn't matter. World doesn't matter anymore for him. He is swimming, or rather has become one with the ocean of bliss. The bliss of Brahman, Satchit Ananda. Sama siddhau asiddhau cha. Now this person, whatever his action might be, now does not bind him. That is the only condition, that to get free of this vicious cycle of this karma and karma phala. For such person, his actions no more binds him. Krutva api na nibadhyate. Krutva nibadhyate. Characteristic of this yogi, one who has established in the path of this karma yoga. So, This is the verse. Yadrucha labha santushto dvandvatito vimassarah samasiddhava siddhau cha krutvapi na nibadhyate. We will conclude our class today here, and we will go forward. There are then this 23rd verse, which is a sort of this section from the 18th verse onwards ends here, and a new section as it start, which is equally good from this 24th verse. So we will see this in our next class. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishnarpanamastu.